as you might have noticed, a lot of this theory deals with experience. But what is experience? I mean, the most straightforward definition of experience would be the sense of being, but that doesn't really help. It's basically just saying the same thing again. So there are some intuitions that the theory that I found while writing the theory, and they are unrelated with the axioms that the theory makes, but some of them are, and I think, but I think the combination is kind of illuminating. So, first, something to note is that experience is the sense of being of the present, and the present is change. There is no state that is the present. The present always change. So experience is always change. And for change to be possible, it needs to be the case that experience changes between different configurations. Like that, it just has to be the case that experience can have different configurations, and that it always is switching between them. Now, this is actually not something new. It should be Alfred North Whitehead described reality as an event where instances of experience perceive the universe or something like that. But he was talking about an event in terms of like it's always the movement and change. So this is not a new thing. However, the new thing is that the argument that new from the theory is the argument that experience is fundamental. And if it is fundamental, then it means nothing produces it. And if nothing produces it, then it has no internal structure, then it's a simple element, which means that everything in experience must be experience, because if it was something else, it wouldn't have been fundamental. So this creates a bit of a contradiction, an inconsistency, and that inconsistency is the theory admits to it, and is actually necessary in any metaphysical theory to find an inconsistency, a metaphysical inconsistency, but at least in metadimensional, that inconsistency is outspoken. The inconsistency is that experience changes between configurations, but it has no internal structure. So this is the metaphysical inconsistency. But still, what does that? What can this reveal? So, if you think about, so everything in experience is experience, including the change. So it's a change between two configurations that is experience itself. That change between configurations is experience itself. So the most fundamental manifestation of experience would be a change between states. This is and being a sense a change between state, and this is what I call the enactment of a story. Now, you might know the term story to denote children's stories, or I don't know, something dumb or silly or not serious. But be that as it may, if you analyze how it is to feel your sense of being, you realize that you're always enacting stories. Maybe not stories in the sense of like a long 500-page book about kings and queens and dragons, but still a story. The feeling of being the change as it happens in a semantically meaningful way. That's just how it is. Now, another way that experience manifests is sensation. But what is sensation? Sensation is just a description of the enactment of a story, of the enactment of a change, while being that change. So sensation and the enactment of a story are the same thing. And then you have will. But what is will? Will, again, you have will is the propulsion of the enactment of a story, of the feeling, of the sensation. Uh, and then you combine all that with the notion that everything in experience is experience, meaning that that will would be sensation, sensation would be will, sensation would be the enactment of a story, the enactment of a story would be will. These are all interchangeable, even though they seem different, but that's just because because they're from different domains. Like sensation would be from uh, epistemology, and will, well, people say it doesn't even exist, and the enactment of a story, that's from literature. Like it seems like completely different ideas, but actually they are the same. And it's interesting to use these realizations when trying to analyze what you like, stories and sensations and desires that you let's say you want to eat ice cream. So there is the will to eat the ice cream, but there's also the enactment of a story of wanting that ice cream, and there's also the sensation of hunger and craving for the ice cream, and they all come together. Still, still there's this issue of the configuration of experience. What is that? So the configuration of experience, the way the theory describes it, is as what happens when experience reflects on other fundamental dimensions, on other things that exist. When they reflect back, then experience enacts these experiential movements, and these experiential movements, well, there's something that's like to be them because it's experience. So one of them could be redness, another could be roundness, another could be happiness, envy, whatever. Like these are all just it's all experience. Yeah. So so this is the nice thing about this is that even if you don't really accept the idea that experience is fundamental, this analysis of experience is, I think it's quite compelling, and it actually shows that if you're not going to assume that experience is fundamental, then you won't be able to make these to realize these aspects of experience. You won't be able to confirm them, and it's only by embracing the idea that experience is fundamental that they become much more they follow from your presuppositions, which is a nice feature.